welcome to Record and welcome to Francis West. And Francis has travelled all the way from South Africa. Well, he did once. What are you doing coming up here?
Rodney, that's a great question. Well, first, before I give you the answer, thank you very much for bringing me on your very famous channel. I've been told so much about this channel, and it's truly an honor and a pleasure to be here today. So let me answer your question. Yeah, I thought I'd come over for a short holiday, see what it's like across the pond. And I told my parents, yeah, I've got a job and everything. Of course, I lied. And I landed in the country with £100 in my pocket and a return flight ticket. And the rest is history, as they say.
Opportunities better in UK, are they?
It's safer. That I can tell you for free. A lot safer.
Yeah,
Because sadly, my uncle was shot and killed in '94, and I actually stayed with him just before I came to the UK. So yeah, no. I got off the phone with another close friend of mine based in Cape Town, and he was just telling me yesterday about the stuff that's going on, and I just think I'm so glad I'm here because it's just well, we go back, we go back every year, every second year. We go and visit for anything between 3 to 5 weeks at a time, and we stay with my brother-in-law about an hour and a half up from Cape Town, and it looks fairly safe. But I think places like Johannesburg and those areas, I promise you, I wouldn't want to live there.
No, we have lots of South African friends. We're in the south of Spain. The climate is not dissimilar, and therefore they come over in their droves. And
Yeah,
always they say the same thing, security.
yeah.
And, when you're afraid to stop at traffic lights, it's not fun, is it?
Yeah, they don't stop at traffic lights. He made that very clear to me yesterday. Well, we call them robots in South Africa.
Yeah,
They're not called traffic lights, they're called robots.
right. Oh,
But yeah, no, I always said, I mean, in 2010, I had an opportunity, which I might tell you the story later. I had an opportunity to go back to South Africa. And you know what my brother-in-law said to me? He's one of the top commercial barristers in South Africa. And he said, Francis, the only way you'll survive in South Africa is if you can accept the illogical to be logical. Now, as a computer man, now cyber person, I just said no, and I just started again from scratch in 2010.
it goes against the DNA, doesn't it? And
It does.
we're going to talk about cyberspace. Now, that frightens people, but it's becoming more and more essential. In fact, we're thinking of scams, hacks, goodness knows
Yeah.
what. And they've
Yeah.
doubled in 12 months, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, if you throw a little bit of the AI source in, I would say it's tripled.
Oh,
Absolutely. And I tell you why I say that. I mean, I do a lot of talks on the subject, hence why I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Since the beginning of COVID, I've done over 500 talks on cyber. And I have this, what do you call it, reputation, apparently, that I scare people. But I've got a new tagline.
no.
Do you like it? Do you
Yes,
like it?
yes.
And the reason why people get scared of cyber is because they can't see it. Scam and email comes in, of course they can see that, but the average in the UK, people are sitting, or the hackers slash scammers are sitting on their systems for something like 185 days normally before they detect it. And I can tell you case after case where this has been proven in my world. And I think this is it. People do not know where to start. They do not know that there's actually solutions out there to fix the problem. And like I said, now with AI in place, if I tell you that last year in January in Australia, the very first automated bot was released. It was called Worm GPT in Australia. And this was specifically designed to expedite attacks on people. And when I checked in September, there were 6. And I bet by now there's probably 12 or more. So it's, and then of course, then you've got that side, and now we've got the other side, where a lot of people are using these AI solutions like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, and you name them, and they don't have any guardrails in place. So people are just uploading their stuff into these systems, and they've got no idea that their company secrets are no longer secret. So this is another area that we're advising people on, because people are, I mean, a close friend of mine who lives probably about 4 miles from where I'm sitting right now, he works for a 500 million pound company. I won't name him just in case people know he is. He works for a 500 million pound, what do you call it, finance firm in the center of London. And they started using this, using AI extensively. And within a month, they lost their entire client database. It's now public knowledge. So he hasn't told me the full consequences, but I bet, never mind the fines, it's a reputational damage that they're going to have to deal with for a long time.
Yeah, it's some people think that it's not like robbing a bank, but it is. It can be worse than that, can't it?
No,
Because
it's a
what
lot
you
worse.
just said.
It's a lot worse than that. And I tell you why, Rodney. I've dealt with so many cases. I've got too many examples. I'm going to share so many stories with you. But one of our clients, she still does, she runs a recruitment company. And at the time, before we stopped doing IT support, now a good 5, 6, 7 years ago, she had 18 staff. And then time was getting a bit tough. And then what happened? She scaled down to herself only. And she decided she's going to work from home. This was before COVID. And she said, I need to cut costs. I said, that's fine. Her name is Kelly. And I said, Kelly, whatever happens, please don't remove your security services that we provide. At the time, it was totaling about £36 a month. And we secured her emails and her computer and her passwords, and we did backups. We did everything for her. And she didn't follow my advice. She said, no, I need to save costs for us. I said, okay. It wasn't 2 months later. She phoned me up, Rodney. She was crying on the phone. Mm. Now, I've met the husband. I've met the 2 kids. I thought one of them died, the way she was crying. I said, Kelly, what happened? She says, you won't believe it, but they got into my Office 365 account, and my largest client, they went in and changed the bank details on my Word template. So she sent the 2 invoices off, totaling £91,000. And her biggest client paid the money straight into the hacker's bank account. Now, she lost the money because they didn't want to pay it again. They said tough. And she lost the client.
Yeah.
All for the sake of £36 a month. And this happens to larger companies. The same thing. We see it all the time, where people, just think, they've got it covered. My biggest issue that I see all the time is that most businesses, small and large, are relying on their IT provider, IT person, IT department to do their cybersecurity. And it's a specialist area. That's why we exist. And that's why many other cyber companies exist. And I think if there's one thing that I really want people to understand and take home from this session is, please don't rely on the plumber to do your electricity and vice versa. It's a specialist area.
Is it a cost thing? People don't like paying out.
Well, I tell you, it's not a cost thing after they've suffered an attack or they've lost 500,000 or, they lost their entire business. Then it's not a cost thing. But before that, it's a cost thing. Because what we've seen now is that 80% of our new clients come to us after an attack.
Oh.
And 20% of them come to us before. I call them the clever ones, Rodney. But the other thing is, of course, that we've now noticed in the last 2-3 years that we've actually got more female owner businesses clients than we have male. And that's interesting because, I think women obviously nurture, caring, understand risk. Men just goes, I've been in business for 35 years. I've never had a problem. Why should I invest in cybersecurity now? And this is what we see. So I just go, good luck. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes. Talking basics, we've got Apple and we've got Android, Windows, and Apple's always been famous. You can't hack it. Yes, you can. But it's been a bit more robust than the Android, the Windows system. Is it still that way?
Do you know, that's interesting you say that, because that's the perception of most people still. And that's the reason why they're now so heavily targeted. Because if you think that your house is sitting in a secure or in a lovely neighborhood, do you think that people are not going to come and break in? Absolutely, they are, because they know that you think that you're living in a secure and safe area. So therefore, you're not going to spend money on putting in a good alarm system and having cameras and everything else. And the same logic applies here. Let me share with you. Let me share with you two stories. The first one is a older gentleman, which I'll never forget as long as I live. This is again through COVID times. He's at the time he was probably about 86, and he had an Apple Mac, and he clicked on a link. The next minute on his Mac, his ntlworld.com email address was hacked. The poor man, he was so scared after this that he refused to do a video call with his son. Now, bearing in mind, they couldn't see each other because of COVID. His son then phoned me and said, Francis, I'm struggling. I can't see my dad. He doesn't want to phone me on FaceTime. What can we do? I said, let me fix a problem for you. So we installed our computer security, and we found keyloggers on there. We found browser hijackers sitting in Safari. So every single key that he typed was compromised. It took us about half an hour. We cleaned it up. And you know what this gentleman said to us? He said, for the first time ever, thank you to you and your team. I now know that I can click on anything on the Mac and you will catch me when I fall.
Yeah.
So, for me, that was priceless. And then I'll take you to another scenario. Another client of ours, you've just reminded me, sitting in Spain, a recruitment company. I think they had 15 staff, all using Macs. And at one point, they were referred to us and they said, I spoke to the owner, a lovely lady, and she said to me, it's so weird because we constantly get this feeling that somebody's watching us. And also, some of our competitors somehow found out, who our clients are. I say, well, there could have been many different ways that could have happened. So we then again installed our computer security. It's called SentinelOne. We have a team of over 200 people that supports our solution. We call that the Security Operations Center. We found keyloggers on every single Mac. We found browser hijackers on every single Mac. It took us probably about, 3-4 hours to clean it up. And I'll tell you the last story, same thing happened. And this was our client in Nigeria, who's a specialist trademark company. And they were paying some cyber company in Switzerland $1,500 to keep them safe. And they were referred. We installed our solution, both computer security and email security. Again, the systems were riddled with malware, with keyloggers, with browser hijackers. It took us probably over a day to clean them up. So my question was, what was this company in Switzerland doing for them? Mm-hmm. And we charge them £450 a month instead of $1,500. And I'll give you another. Sorry, I've got too many stories here, but I'll tell you another one. You're going to like this one. So now let's move away from Macs. Let's go to iPhones. So one of our clients, she runs like a specialist travel company all around the world, for doing safaris and that kind of thing. And she went to, she's actually given me a testimonial, a video testimonial uploaded to our YouTube channel, Security Over YouTube channel. And she walked into a hotel in Las Vegas with the iPhone 16 Pro, logged onto the Wi-Fi. Within 20 minutes, they managed to drain all three of bank accounts down to zero and hack into a Gmail account. Now, when people tell me that Macs are safe, I'm sorry. They maybe used to be many, many years ago, but people do not protect their phones. They do not protect their iPads. They do not protect their their Mac, their Macs, and for that reason, they just are sitting dark.
Now, there are a lot of branded programs that are supposed to get rid of the nasties. Norton is the well-known one, of course. There are many others. Are they no good?
Well, they'll probably sue me for this, but I reckon they're the equivalent of a chocolate lock on a sunny day in Barbados. And I can give you reasons why. So the challenge that you have today with all the what I call the security solutions you can buy in the shop, like PC World or Argos or wherever, is that number one, it doesn't have the ability to look at behavior, like behavioral changes. And I'll come back to that. So most of the solutions still out there would look at a database. So attack comes in, it will say, have I seen this attack before? Yes or no. If it hasn't seen it, the fact that it's real, we call them zero-day attacks. It means that it doesn't recognize it, so it must be okay, and it comes in and then takes out the person or the business. The other problem is that, it doesn't have what we call the ability to identify zero-day attacks based on behavioral changes, which I said earlier. And let me explain. So let's say, Rodney, you normally work from, I know you're a hardworking person. You normally work from, say, 9 till 5, 6:30, sitting in Spain every Monday to Friday. The odd Saturday, you will maybe work a few hours. Now, because we use AI in all our solutions, we've now built a picture of you on your working habits. So one Saturday morning, 2 a.m., emails are flying off your PC and goes to North Korea or China or Russia. We see that as an attack. Normal antivirus solutions will say, oh, sure, Rodney can't be sleeping well tonight because he's up so early, already working and sending files out. Do you see the difference?
Who is doing the hacking? Is it the Ukrainians again, the Russians, the Chinese?
All of the above. I would say, have you ever listened to, I've got a lot of brilliant podcasts that I can recommend your viewers. My first one I'm going to recommend is The Lazarus Heist. There's 2 series. It's on BBC. I'm sure you can watch it either on BBC iPlayer or download the podcast. I've met the journalist twice now. He's a brilliant speaker. And they talk very specifically about the Lazarus Group and how especially North Korea, how they fund their entire nuclear arms program by launching attacks on people, on businesses, anywhere in the world. Then you've got China, and I thought this was a lie. In China, you've got buildings the size of a rugby field, multiple layers, where people are grouped together in different areas in the office. That's their task. There's even like a flag there to say, you hacked this country, you hacked that country, you hacked this country. It's their day job. They come in at 9, they leave at 5:30, they get, I don't know if they get holiday, but for them it's just a normal job. And then we've got India, and we've got China, we've got Russia. It is, and like I said, now you've got things like ransom as a service. So if you go on the dark web, you can actually get not only the ransom attack itself, but somebody to execute it for you for $100. Oh. Now, and if you take that and you package it up and you use an AI bot, let's call it that to keep it simple, you can expedite this like times 1,000 or 10,000 a day. And it's easier to take $50, $20 off 1,000 people per hour than it is. I mean, the days I feel for all the people in India and the big call centers, because they're going to be replaced, by AI. Because now, we haven't got onto that subject yet, but all we need is 6 seconds of somebody's voice to be able to speak like them in any language. Not only that, I'll give you another top tip. When somebody phones you and they say, is that Rodney? You never say yes. So who's calling? because that yes is enough information for them to use against you in different attacks, like your bank or other places. Never say yes.
Listen, a bit prosaic, this next question, but I'm asked it all the time. Well, we were thinking of getting a new bed, and so we talk about it, husband and wife. And lo and behold, we don't even type it into Google. We just talk about it. Is it true? Is it listening?
Absolutely. One of the things we do is we send out every Sunday, we send out a little cyber tip, which I'll gladly give you the link, and there's no cost involved, where we just give all these kind of tips in just a simple email every Sunday morning, and just to help people to be aware on how to fix these problems. So what you do is, if you go onto your iPhone, and I can even send you the photos, you go into privacy and settings, you go to microphone, and you make sure you'll see how many apps are listening to every single word you say. And that's why it knows about you buying your bed. The other thing as well, if you go back into privacy and security, go to tracking, and my recommendation is turn it off. You'll see it's allow apps to request to track. You will not believe how many apps are tracking where you are, what you're doing at any given time.
But they say, of course, oh, we need to know where you are because we can recommend a restaurant for you.
Yeah, no, I would turn it off. I really, really, really would turn it off. And there's many other tips that I'll gladly share with you, especially WhatsApp, because so many people are using WhatsApp, and they do not even have the basic security set up in WhatsApp. But does that answer your question? So yes. So before I forget, one of my top tips for any family or business owner that works with somebody in finance, go and stand in the middle of a football field or a rugby field, and then leave your Apple Watch, leave your iPhone, your smartphone, leave all your technology on the sideline. Don't let somebody steal it, though. And then you agree a secret word or phrase. It should be a 10-character long, let's say from 1 to 0 or 0 to 9. And then you never write it down. And then what you do is, let's say one day is one day. You can't verify somebody's voice when they phone or they send you a text or WhatsApp message. All you have to do is to say, tell me, give me, a long time ago when we set up our word, can you give me the second, the eighth and the 10th character? Now, nobody on this planet will know this information apart from those people who stood on that field that day. And that's the easiest zero-cost way of always knowing who you're talking to.
Interesting. Listen, we're going to put that on the screen for the viewers. We've got to get that website from you, and these are top tips, are they?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the tips that we send out every Sunday?
Mm.
Yeah, I'll just send you the link if you want, and we keep on updating them. So there's about 2 years of tips.
Francis, in all this we're talking about, what are the police doing? Are they up to the job?
We work very closely with a number of police units in the UK. I also serve on 7 security panels as well. And we also work with young people that come in. I've even been asked to look after young offenders by the police units, to come in and try and rehabilitate them, which is fun.
Yeah.
But now to answer your question, so if I tell you, you've got the city, the city of London, who have their own police units, and then you've got the National Cybersecurity Centre and multiple other units. So from a country perspective, I reckon they are probably removing between 60 to 70% state act attacks. Your problem is that you've got 5.5 small businesses in the UK alone. Okay. Now, If we look at Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, and Cambridgeshire, they're big counties in England. How many people or policemen do you think do they have that deals with cyber crime?
It's not 3, is it?
I think you've nailed it. It's 3.
My goodness me.
3 people. And here's the thing now. This is the research that we've done. If you look at every single country in the world now, cybercrime, fraud, makes up more than 60% of all attacks. If you in London lose anything below £10,000 for whatever reason, you will not even get a phone call back. So they're completely under-resourced. And I mean, even the youngsters, I don't know if you heard, the youngsters who took out Marks and Spencers.
Yeah.
There's 3, they were young. I mean, they've been caught, but the only reason they were caught is because they were in the UK. Now, if I tell you 99.999% of the attackers are not sitting in the UK. So they just don't have the manpower, the knowledge to make a dent in this problem. Do you know, and this is probably the main reason why our mission is to at least start with 1 million businesses. We've already done 1 million people by last October, just to help businesses by, doing talks, radio shows, podcasts, just to educate them and give them the basics at least. Because I'll tell you the story, Rodney, of the lion. Have I ever told you the lion story? No? Tell me honestly, Rodney, when the lion chases you, what do you have to do?
Well, you better be smart and run.
Yeah, no, that's true. You better run fast. But here's the secret. You've got to outrun the person behind you.
True.
Now, hopefully that's not your wife, your partner, your brother, your sister, your son, or your daughter. But cybersecurity works on the same principle, in my view. The more layers, or at least when you start doing the basics in play, they will always go after the easy targets. And there are millions and millions of easy targets. So, and hence why the tips really work. It's just, and again, we can do a whole session on those, just to give people the basics to go, okay, if you do this and this and this, they'll go somewhere else. And if we use the logic of a road, if a thief at night drives down the road, 2 a.m. in the morning, they will go for the easy targets. They will not go for the one that's got CCTV cameras, alarm, and a dog. They'll leave those ones alone. They'll go for the ones who do not have any of those.
We regretfully have to bring this chat to an end. We've got so much more to talk about. We're going to get you back. In the meantime, we're going to go out and we'll put a slate at the end showing how you can get your Sunday top tips. Francis, it's been absolutely fascinating, and you scared most of us to death, but we need to know about this.
We do.
So we'll look forward to seeing you very shortly. Thank you so much.
Absolute huge pleasure, Rodney.